Last time we talked about the life cycle of MRSA and what types of infection it can cause, but what happens when the bacteria makes its way into the body? How does it affect the host? And why is it so difficult to defeat, even with modern medicine? Today we dig into the biology of MRSA, how it infects the body, how it adapts to survive in ever-changing environments, and what makes it such a formidable foe. Welcome to No MRSA, No Problem, episode 2. This is Megan.
And Bella.
So let's talk about why MRSA is such a monster when it comes to being treated. It is resistant to so many antibiotics. It's not even funny. It makes a nightmare for doctors and patients alike. Because imagine you just have this infection, you go in, and next thing you know, you're getting prescribed 2 to 3 antibiotics with regular check-ins. This actually all started back in the 1916s, shortly after methicillin was introduced to treat bacterial infections, and as mentioned in the last episode, MRSA was just kind of like, okay, just let me rewrite my DNA real quick, and now we're here. And what makes the fact that MRSA can rewrite its DNA so easily for antibiotics is kind of a problem, especially since when it comes to health, it's not only just humans' health that we're concerned with. It involves animals, the environment, and that's what we call One Health. So the fact that MRSA is already in our livestock is of major issues. It's a major issue, especially because if you love pork or if you like bacon, guess what? Pigs are the most notorious livestock for carrying MRSA and not showing any signs on them. So they can have it, they can carry it. So make sure you cook your bacon because you don't want to get MRSA.
Definitely.
So the specific strain that this is from is called ST398. And it is basically, if you were going to get a MRSA strain from a food, it's going to be this one. But as long as you cook your food properly, you shouldn't be you shouldn't be getting MRSA from any sort of food or livestock. The main concern is with interaction. It is very commonly in agriculture areas with farming and plants and having a bunch of livestock. We find MRSA to be more prevalent.
So farmers, vets, if you're listening, wash your hands. And maybe your pigs too, I think?
So I know we've been totally focusing on the pigs because they are notorious in our livestock, but your dog, your cat,
Oh yeah.
can actually have it. And fun fact, they can get it from you.
If it has an open wound and you touch it, MRSA is zoonotic, so it can be passed human to dog, human to animal, animal to human.
Yeah. So
MRSA has no type.
no, it is very open.
Very open-minded.
Like you could just be sitting there like, and it would be as simple as like your dog decides to get out of its bandage after a surgery and then it goes outside and then next thing you know, MRSA, and then you're trying to clean the wound. Guess what? Please wash your hand, wear gloves, because who knows, it could totally be MRSA that your dog got into.
Take precaution to the whole 9 yards. Let's get real. How much of this is actually our fault? Are we overusing antibiotics like they're candy, or what's the deal?
Sadly, yes. And it's not just in our livestock, it's actually on us too. So, as you know, antibiotics are commonly used when raising livestock, and well, it makes sense because they're trying to prevent the livestock from getting infected. But just like as humans, when we decided to overprescribe antibiotics, well, with MRSA, they're just like, well, guess what? I'll just change my DNA again.
Oh no, reverse.
So, one, we need to stop overprescribing antibiotics, especially in human health as well. That's the main reason that I think we're facing such an annoying strain is because we decided to just dump a bunch of antibiotics on it, and it was like, guess what? And in all honesty, I think we're going to face more of it getting more and more resistant to different antibiotics. We're already having to prescribe 2 to 3 antibiotics for a normal infection just because we don't really know what strain they're infected with. And that culture normally takes 2 to 3 days to come back. And that's just losing time on treating this wound. So, right now, especially considering that it is so resistant to antibiotics,
Constantly changing all the time.
it's going to be basically just your typical wash your hands. Please wash your hands.
Hygiene, hygiene, hygiene. Please sing the birthday song while you wash your hands. Count your ABCs. Do something, please. 25 seconds. Is it? Hot water,
Yeah.
soap, maybe some extra soap.
Make sure your food is fully cooked, please. It's not only with MRSA, you can have salmonella going on. Make sure you cooked your food. Wash your food if it,
Wash the lettuce. Wash your meat, maybe. Wash everything. Give it deep cleaning anytime you decide to cook. Or Miss MRSA will be after you.
So let's talk about the types of infections that you can get with MRSA because there are many different types. So your most common one is going to be your typical skin infection, swollen,
Oozy.
yeah,
More
a
gross.
nice loving
Looks like
pus.
a big pimple. That's the one that I had come in contact with. Right on the knee. Disgusting, big. Hurts. Boils and abscesses. The works.
Yeah, it's not a pretty sight.
No, definitely not. Had my head down low for that one.
Yeah, and for people who like popping pimples, it is not the same.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't go there. You'll definitely spread that staph.
It's also very, very painful right at the site.
Oh yeah, I can attest to that. Very tight and tender and really disgusting. Need I say more?
But let's talk about when it gets worse.
Okay, let's go.
So, what happens when it gets into your lungs?
So that can cause pneumonia, and
Yeah.
that can cause a lot of different problems. So pneumonia is fluid in the lungs. So think of staph juice just floating around in your lungs, and you're breathing it in and you're breathing it out. And it is super infectious and contagious.
Because that's when it is actually the only time it can be spread by droplet. Fun fact that we will touch more on in a later episode. But it's normally contact transmission. So,
Definitely easy to spread between patients on ventilators or with prolonged hospital stays. Less common but more severe for those community-acquired pneumonia receivers. But you will definitely be experiencing the cough, the fever, the shortness of breath, and the chest pain. So,
no, let's have even more fun. Let's talk about when it gets into your blood.
okay, let's talk about that. So, let me look it up. No, MRSA can enter the bloodstream and cause severe, life-threatening infections. Because why wouldn't it? Yeah, it can. So it will. You're gonna experience the fevers, chills, low blood pressure, and a rapid heart rate. and it can go into other organs in your body and can result in endocarditis or osteomyelitis.
And let's talk about the fact that it can completely change your mental state.
Oh yeah, it doesn't just come after the body, it comes after the body, the mind, and the soul.
And let's talk about joints and bone.
So that's gonna be the severe pain, the swelling, and reduced range of motion. So when I was younger and I contracted MRSA, I was walking on the dock in Washington, just a nice day at the marina, fall, scrape my leg, mom picks me up, washes it off, sterilizes it, slaps a band-aid on it. Next day, it looks like I have this pustulent, swollen,
Oh,
disgusting pimple on my knee, and my knee is so swollen I can't bend it. And I was only 2 to 3, so I was one of the first cases in the US. And we were CDC quarantined. We were shoved with antibiotics and all the medicine that ultimately didn't work because of those who underdosed. Thank you very much. No help to you. And yeah, I don't remember much, but my mom lives to tell the stories, and
I'm
I've
sure.
adopted them through that.
The whole I'm I'm sure she was so excited when
Oh yeah.
her daughter brought the CDC to
Oh
the door.
yeah, yeah. When they're in the hazmat suits and wanting to be used for journal and scientific research. Oh yeah, she was stoked. Yeah. What can I say? I knew I wanted to be in STEM at a very young age. But yeah, spine, long bones, and large joints like the knees and hips. It's gonna be Merce's best friend.
Yeah. So I think that's all for today.
I think we covered a good amount. Yeah, I hope you guys are a little bit more informed and a little less scared, or maybe more scared. Who knows? But wash those hands, blow those noses, stay clean, and no mercy, no problem.
Yeah, next time we will talk about transmission and how this spreads so easily for such a monstrous bacteria.
Yeah, small but mighty and dangerous. The bacteria that bites back.